Good morning, girls. So, in today's class, FM class, the next topic that I'm going to teach on the third chapter is EPS, calculation of EPS. That is, after learning how to calculate the leverages, the next topic is calculation of EPS. EPS means earnings per share. Okay. So, how to calculate this EPS? There is a formula. Earnings available to equity shareholders divided by number of equity shares. So there are two factors here. One is earnings available to equity shareholders, another is number of equity shares. So firstly, how to calculate the earnings available to equity shareholders? Well, you all know that we have to prepare an income statement or which is also known as master table. And we know the format. You're going to start with sales. You're going to deduct variable cost. You get contribution. Then you deduct fixed cost. Then you will get EBIT. So now when you have to calculate EPS, this EPS calculation will be given in different cases because the component of capital includes the shares, debentures and also the preference shares. So there are various components of the capital. So under each cases you may have to calculate EPS. So since the cases will be more to calculate the EPS, in the problem they will give you directly the EBIT. So that there won't be 99%, there won't be need of doing this. Straight away you can start your master table with EBIT. Now from EBIT, we have to deduct interest, that is interest on borrowed capital. That is probably debentures. So if they say 10% debentures or 1 lakh debentures, interest at 5%, something like that if they give, you have to apply that rate on the capital amount. Then you get EBT. So from EBT you have to deduct the tax at given rate. Then you get EAT, that is earnings after tax. Once you deduct the tax, you get EAT, earnings after tax. The same earnings after tax is also called as earnings available to equity shareholders. The same format you have learnt in your third semester corporate accounting also. Valuation of shares, you have calculated this. You need this earning available to equity shareholders to calculate the yield method. Do you remember that? Okay, so the same thing. After deducting the tax, you get earnings available to equity shareholders. If there is a preference dividend, then you have to deduct the preference dividend. Then you get the, earnings available to equity shareholders. So after knowing earnings after tax, you have to deduct preference dividend, then you get earnings available to equity shareholders. Now, I'll be working out a simple problem having 4 cases. So the question I will post you on WhatsApp. Now straight away I'll be working out the problem. The question goes like this. Gurudatta Limited Company has equity share capital of rupees 5 lakh divided into shares of rupees 100 each. So this is the original capital. What they already have, no, that is original capital. So they have 5 lakh rupees of 100 each. So if you divide the capital amount by the face value, you will get to know the number of equity shares. Then it wishes to raise further rupees 3 lakh for modernization plans. So further raise 3 lakhs. Girls, please listen carefully, understand thoroughly, because this is the kind of problem you get it for 14 marks. For sure you will get it. With the less adjustments, you get it even for 6 marks. So please understand the concept carefully. Okay. So further rise 3 lakhs. So now original capital is 5 lakhs. The further need of the capital is 3 lakhs. And always remember, when there is a further plan of raising capital, this additional capital can be of 3 forms. 1, all equity shares. Second, partly shares, partly debentures. Third, equity shares. There can be debentures. There can also be preference shares. So now this is how we are going to work out. Under each case, if the additional capital is raised only through equity shares, how we are going to work out. If the 3 lakh is raised like 1 lakh with the capital, 1 lakh with the debentures, how it is? Because when you have a debentures, you have to deduct the interest. When you don't have the debentures, interest amounts will be 0. So obviously it is going to affect the EPS. Then if it is partly in equity shares, partly in debentures, partly in preference shares, then the EPS differs. Why? Because for the debentures you have to provide interest, for preference shares you have to provide the preference dividend. So this is the question, that is they have originally 5 lakh and they want to raise additional 3 lakhs. And the company plans the following financing schemes. There are around 4. A, all equity shares. B, 1 lakh in equity shares and 2 lakh in debt, that is debentures, at 10% per annum. This 10% indicates rate of interest. Then C, all debt at 10% per annum. That is, the additional 3 lakh is raised through only debentures. First raised only through equity shares. Second raised through partly in debt, partly in equity shares. Now third plan, all the entire amount in debentures. Then D, 1 lakh in equity shares and 2 lakh in preference shares with rate of dividend at the rate of 8%. Then the company has EBIT of 1,50,000. The corporate rate of tax is 50%. Tax rate is 50%. Calculate EPS in each case and give a comment as to which capital structure is available. So now this is how we are going to work out. We have to give the opinion as to which plan suits well. Okay. In which case the EPS is more, that will be the best plan. So there are 4 cases. Let me work out the first case for you. I mean all the cases I am going to work out. So calculation of EPS in first case, that is all in equity shares. So what is the case here? Everything will be only equity shares. So originally you have original capital that is already existing. You have 5 lakh. And they say it is a share of 100 rupees per share. Then additional 3 lakh is also additional equity shares because entirely in equity shares. So the additional further raise of 3 lakhs is also in equity shares. That also will be 100 rupees per share. So totally 8 lakh capital of 100 rupees. So number of equity shares equals 5 lakh original plus 3 lakh additional capital, that comes to 8 lakh, divided by face value, which is 100 rupees. So that is 8 lakh divided by face value 100 rupees. There are 8,000 shares totally. Now we have to prepare a master table for the first case. Now let us see how to work out. Particulars amount. We are going to start the statement with EBIT. EBIT is 1,50,000 less interest. There cannot be interest because everything is in equity shares. So there is no interest. Bring down the balance 1,50,000. This will be EBT less tax at 50%. So that is 1,50,000 into 50% will be 75,000. Deduct and bring down the balance 75,000. So this 75,000 is earnings after tax or earnings available to equity shareholders. So now EPS in this case, EPS equals earnings available to equity shareholders divided by number of equity shares. Substitute. Earnings available to equity shareholders is 75,000 divided by number of equity shares. In the beginning I taught you 8,000. Divide. You get 9.37 rupees per share. Therefore, EPS equals 9.37 per share in first case. That is when everything is in equity shares. Now let us see the second case. What is the second case? Rupees 1 lakh in equity shares and rupees 2 lakh and rupees 2 lakh in debt at 10% per annum. So just have a brief note on it. Original capital is 5 lakh of 100 rupees. Additional, that is further rise of 3 lakhs is raised with 1 lakh, that is 1000 shares of 100 each, 1 lakh rupees. Next, 10% debentures, 2 lakhs. See now, the further raise of 3 lakhs The total of this two is 3 lakhs, that is 1 lakh plus 2 lakh. Did you understand the concept? They already have 5 lakh original share capital, all equity shares. They need further 3 lakhs, and that further 3 lakhs is raised through equity shares and debentures. So now we have to prepare again a master table for the second case. Master table is also known as income statement. So in the exam in question, if they ask prepare income statement, it is nothing but master table. Start with EBIT given 1,50,000 less interest at 10%. 10% debentures, they say rupees 2 lakh in a debt at 10% per annum. So you have a debt for which you are paying 10% interest. So deduct the interest here at 10%. What is the debenture amount? 2 lakh. 2 lakh into 10% is 20,000. Deduct and bring down the balance. 1,30,000. What is this 1,30,000? Is EBT, that is earnings before tax. Now deduct the tax at given rate, that is 50%. 50% on 1,30,000 will be 65,000. Deduct 65,000 from 1,30,000. Balance will be 65,000. That is earnings available to equity shareholders. Now we have to calculate the EPS. Now the number of shares will be 5,000 plus 1,000. That is 5 lakh divided by 100 is 5,000. There is an additional capital of 3 lakhs, out of which 1 lakh is raised through equity shares. I'll teach you now. EPS, in order to know the EPS, formula is earnings available to equity shareholders divided by number of equity shares. But we don't know the number of equity shares. Number of equity shares, original capital 5 lakh plus now additional capital raised in equity shares is 1 lakh alone. So 1 lakh divided by face value. So 5 lakh plus 1 lakh, 6 lakh, face value is 100. So there are 6,000 equity shares. Hope you understood. If you have any doubts, you can message on the group or personally. Now let us calculate EPS. EPS equals earnings available to equity shareholders divided by number of equity shares. Substitute. Earnings available to equity shareholders is 65,000 divided by number of equity shares is 6,000. So 65,000 divided by 6,000 is 10.83 rupees per share. Therefore, EPS equals 10.83 per share. Now next, C case, all debt at 10% per annum. So now everything, that is the additional capital of 3 lakh, the entire 3 lakh is raised through only debentures. So that is again 10%. So 10%. What is the further raised capital? 3 lakh. Now that 3 lakh entirely raised through debentures. So now again a master table EBIT is given already. So let us start with EBIT as given 1,50,000 less interest at 10%. So what is the interest 10% on which amount we have to calculate? On 3 lakhs. So 3 lakhs into 10% will be 30,000. Deduct interest 30,000, you get 1,20,000, that is EBT. Less tax at 50%. So 1,20,000 minus 1,20,000 into 50% will be 60,000. Deduct that, the balance is 60,000, that is earnings after tax or earnings available to equity shareholders. Now let us calculate EPS. EPS equals earnings available to equity shareholders divided by number of equity shares. Now we have only 5 lakh, that is the original capital. So number of equity shares will be 5,000. So 60,000 divided by 5,000 equals 12 rupees per share. Did you understand, girls? Hope you have understood. Now the last case, it says 1 lakh in equity shares and 2 lakh in preference share capital at 8% dividend, with a dividend at a rate of 8%. So firstly, original capital 5 lakh, additional 3 lakh is raised through only preference shares. Additional through equity shares 1 lakh, through preference shares at 8% dividend 2 lakh. So see, the additional further raise in the capital 3 lakh is comprising of 1 lakh equity shares and 2 lakh preference shares. So master table, we're going to start with EBIT. EBIT 1,50,000 less interest nil. Why? Because there is no debt amount, there is no debentures, so there is no interest to be calculated. So EBT, from EBT deduct tax at 50%. 1,50,000 into 50% will be 75,000. For your reference, I am writing here. In each case, for your reference, you can write it in the pencil. 75,000. This is earnings after tax. You cannot call now this as earnings available to equity shareholders. Why? Because there is a preference dividend. So you have already calculated this while working out the valuation of shares and valuation of goodwill. So less preference dividend at 8%. Now what is the additional capital raised through preference share? That is 2 lakh. So 2 lakh into 8% rate of dividend. The capital amount into the rate of dividend. Preference share capital is 2 lakh. Rate of dividend is 8%. So 2 lakh into 8% will be 16,000. 75,000 minus 16,000 is 59,000. So this is therefore earnings available to equity shareholders. Earnings available to equity shareholders. Now EPS equals earnings available to equity shareholders divided by number of equity shares. Earnings available to equity shareholders is 59,000. Number of equity shares, see here, 5 lakh original capital, 1 lakh additional capital, 6 lakhs divided by the face value 100 rupees, it is 6,000. So 59,000 divided by 6,000, you will get 9.83 rupees per share. So we have calculated the EPS under all the 4 cases. But the question doesn't stop there. The question is, suggest the best financial plan. So how to suggest the best financial plan when you have 4 scenarios here? Whichever the scenario shows the highest EPS, that will be the best plan. So here in this case, conclusion, as EPS in case C, that is all debt at 10% interest per annum. So compared to all the other cases, as EPS in case C is high, plan C is advisable. So this is how you can give the conclusion, and this is all about calculating the EPS under different cases. Please go through the video, and any doubts get back to me, work out in the notes and submit before the end of the day. Okay, thank you.